ladies. Welcome to Freedom from Autoimmune. It's Tina, your host of the group. How is everybody doing? How has your week been? How has your month been? How has your year been? How has your life been? This week, I am going to talk to you about having the feeling of lack of confidence in your body. That's a very easy place to get to in this journey that we've had because we have had so many unanswered questions when it comes to things going on in our body. Questions that maybe we can't answer, questions that doctors can't answer, questions that tests can't answer. Lots of questions, as well as building on top of that, when you go see a doctor and they tell you that your body is against you, and it's attacking itself. Building all these things up over time, even if it's a short amount of time when you're in that space, can be a very difficult place to move forward in. But that's why I have this group, so that I can help you stay motivated, to build confidence in your body, to find strength again, and to be able to move forward. So what I'm going to talk to you about this time is a way that can help you stay on track with yourself as a whole, and the doctors or other people that you brought in as your team to help you improve in your health. That way you can stop asking yourself or seeming unsure of yourself when you go to appointments or when you have that time just with yourself. Have you been in that space where you just feel unsure? So let me share a little bit with you about what this past week and a half looked like for me. So about a week and a half ago, I started having symptoms of kind of pain in my mid back, and I started needing to go to the bathroom pretty frequently. But I didn't have some of the other things that come with a typical UTI. So I kind of pushed it off. Just kept doing the things that I knew to do to build myself back up and try to bring myself back to that space where I just felt strength in my body again. But instead of going in that direction that it normally does and feeling better, it seemed to keep pressing down. And I had these other symptoms that started to come in that I really didn't understand. So I ended up seeing my doctor about that. The first visit to my doctor, they felt pretty sure that it was a UTI. So I'm sitting in the office waiting for them to do all the testing, which we've been there many times before, right? For me, it's been a long period of time that I haven't had to go through any of this. Over 2 years. But it was okay. I still knew the drill. So I waited for the testing. I sat in the chair. They listened, the stethoscope went through the whole office visit, explaining symptoms and what was wrong and what I had been dealing with and how long it was, and feeling really bad, really no energy and just unsure of what was really happening. Not in a spot that I wanted to be in again, because for me, that was very uncomfortable since I had been in a spot of just feeling sure in this recent journey of how I could free my body of whatever was happening with it. But right here at this point, I wasn't able to figure that out. So they did the test. The test in the office said UTI. So I was given an antibiotic at that time. Now for me and my body, I have only been able to take certain antibiotics. Most antibiotics for my body have not worked well at all. And they've actually had adverse reactions on me. So the thought of taking an antibiotic was something that kind of heightened my anxiety as well. This was one I hadn't taken before. So I thought, okay. And I was told it would just target only to the bladder area, which is where the issue was, we thought. So I took that. They sent the test away to the lab. Of course, it was the weekend. It seems like things seems to happen on the weekend, right? So I had to wait through the weekend to get the lab results back. In the meantime, I had been taking the antibiotic for about 4.5 days. And I did start to feel better. I did start to see some improvement. So when the culture came back, the culture said that it was negative for a UTI. I had started to feel better, but then everything kind of dropped again to all the same symptoms. So now I needed answers again, and we didn't know what was happening. So I was advised to go ahead and go to urgent care, have them retest, and then see if we could figure out what was going on. They still said at that time, probably a good idea to still take the antibiotic. So I went to the urgent care. They did their testing. Again, it came back negative for that. And then started okay, so what is going on? White blood cell count is elevated. These symptoms are here. Not feeling quite as bad as I did, but still that they were there. So then the next 3 to 4 days after that was going into the doctor's office, into the urgent cares, them trying to figure out what's going on with my body. And I'm sure you're with me on that and you understand exactly what that feeling is. So the final doctor's appointment that I went to, and I sat on her table because of the elevated white blood cell count. By this point, I was just starting to feel better. I had some very, very slight symptoms. Everything else was leaving, but my white blood cell count was still up. And what she said was that she was pretty sure, because it's Friday again at this point, it's the weekend coming. She felt that I would be in the ER over the weekend. That was her bet. So left the office, sat in my car in the same parking lot that was in when I was told that I had Epstein-Barr and that there was nothing I could do about it. Sat in my car and again, did what I knew and have known to do when I'm not getting answers. When doctors can't give me answers about something that's going on in my body, is to go back to faith. I prayed for guidance and wisdom on how I could continue to move forward. I would not be in the emergency room over the weekend as I was told I would. And what else could I do to get my body better to support it? I had blood drawn again that Friday before I had left their office. And I was told if it was raised more, that I would need to go into the hospital, which would have been this week. So thankfully, when the blood work came back, it was down to normal again. I was not in the ER over the weekend. I continued to support myself in the ways that I knew how and was guided to, and I'm now feeling better. But this is something that I learned through this past experience again, because each time we have something happen, there's things that we can learn from it that bump us to the next level of how we can support ourselves, how we can get to that next level with where we want to be. How do we elevate ourselves to the next level? And for me, this is what I learned from this. When I was in the urgent care, they wanted to do a CT scan. I do not jump on x-rays or tests like that right away anymore because of my past experience. I personally don't want the radiation, and I felt better. I didn't feel like there was something wrong. If my white blood cell count would have still been elevated, I would have done that. But when I was speaking with the doctor, he did say he understood about, the levels of radiation from his CT scan. And he also said that if you've had 10 CT scans in your life, that does increase your risk for cancer. So at that point, I'm thinking, how many CT scans have I had? How many x-rays have I had? How many tests have I got done? What are my levels now and my vitamins and and all these different things, cholesterol, all these things that matter, all these things that are telling a story of what's going on inside of you. How well did I know what they were? Had I already had 10 CT scans? I didn't know. So this brought the attention of how important it is that you personally know your own journey and your own body, and you have a way to easily pull that so that you can give that information to whoever you're working with at the time. Because if you can't tell them what's going on inside of you or what your journey has been like so far, it makes it much more difficult for them to give you a plan and a way to help move you forward. So I decided to look at my past journey with the tests that I gotten done. A lot of that's online now, so I could pull it from like 2010 forward. So I do have a gap of time that's there, but I was able to pull a lot of the story of how many tests I've had done, what they look like, what my levels are, what the outcome was, what they said, and put it on this nice little, I just wrote it on a notepad so that I was able to to see what that had looked like for me. So now I know that I've had 3 CT scans since 2010, which helps me make decisions, informative decisions for myself. And that's what we all need to do. Ladies, we all need to take our voice and use our voice when we have a choice and we're giving options of what that we should be doing. We need to make sure that we make the best informed choice that we can, and we have to know our information to do that. So what I did end up doing is purchasing this journal from Amazon, and I'm going to start using that to track my information as well. Now, this journal has a place to put in it for all the tests that you've gotten, allergies that you've had, which is important for me to carry as well, so that if I'm ever in a position where I can't speak and say what my allergies are, then it's easily accessible to other people, because I'm just going to carry it with me and everyone will have it that would need it. But this book also has a place in it to keep track of yourself daily. So, you know, your water intake, what you're eating, pain that's in your body, the location, the symptoms, medications that you're taking, pain scale, lots of good information for women with autoimmune disease to be able to say, hey, this is where my body's at right now. And this is how I can track it, as I help it elevate and support it and give it what it needs. So for me, and there's also bedtime and awake time. So if you're my client, then I am sending you this as a gift so that this can help you keep track of things as well. And I encourage you, ladies, to be able to go into this space and to know exactly what your journey has been on this level with it, so that you can answer questions very easily. You don't have to try to remember it. We have to remember so much. It is hard to just be able to think, okay, this is how many CT scans I've had in my life. But have it in something easy like this, or you can write it on a notepad and just keep it with you to make your life more simple. Let's have more simple and more support in our life, and add that in there. Okay, so if you would also like more information on tracking, I have sent that to a few of you, tracking pain in your body, tracking fatigue, things like that. You can comment below motivate, and then I can send that to you, or I'll contact you by DM to see exactly what it is that you're looking for, that you want to track. And the reason I want you to comment motivate is because having this information builds confidence in you, so that you are confident and you know what your journey has been so far, and you can help restore and build back that confidence that you have in your own strength, in your own body, for your own journey, and truly know the information of what it's been so far. And then I also encourage you to keep in front of you where it is that you're going, how it is that you want to feel, and what that goal is. Move through the symptoms that you have to get to what your goal is. Don't ever make the symptoms the focus, because if you make the symptoms the focus, that's where you stay. And we want you to move forward. Okay, ladies, so I hope that you have a beautiful, amazing week. I look forward to meeting more of you. Those of you that's new into the group, welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you here just to share this energy with you and to help you move forward as well, and really start to make transformation in your life so that you can find that freedom in your body again. Okay, ladies, have a beautiful